Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cal Poly's Honored Alumni Awards celebration.
Hello, I'm Amanda McAdams, Interim Executive Director for Alumni Engagement. It's my pleasure to address you all today as we recognize the 2020 Honored Alumni Award recipients. Tonight we'll celebrate the achievements of 8 truly special Cal Poly alumni who are making an impact in their industries and communities throughout California and beyond. Thanks to all of you for joining us today as we honor those who make our community, Cal Poly, proud. I'd like to now invite the president of Cal Poly Alumni Association, Hunt Turner, to say a few words. Hunt is a Cal Poly Proud alumnus who graduated in 1995 with a bachelor's degree in business administration and represented the Orfalea College of Business on the ASI Board of Directors. He was also a student athlete playing on the men's tennis team for several years and is happily married to Deborah, a fellow Cal Poly alumna. And now I'd like to introduce Hunt Turner.
Thank you, Amanda, and thank you, distinguished Cal Poly alumni, for the honor of serving as your board president. I'd also like to thank my fellow CPAA board members for your tireless work in support of alumni worldwide. The association is dedicated to connecting, engaging, and creating a lifelong relationship between alumni and Cal Poly, and this work would not be possible without each and every one of you. We are grateful for our Cal Poly alumni and the legacy you helped curate. Many of you are not just alumni, you're Cal Poly staff, faculty, or volunteers. You are parents or grandparents of current students, or you actively advocate for the next generation of Mustangs. For all you do every day to shape Cal Poly's future, thank you. To our honorees, you are paving the way for future Mustangs through your leadership, commitment to service, and passionate support of Cal Poly. You're an inspiration to all of us, and we're excited to share your stories tonight. This event is so special to our community because it celebrates the dedication, tenacity, and passion Cal Poly graduates are known for. Thank you for leading by example and for continuing the Mustang legacy. On behalf of Cal Poly Alumni Association and more than 200,000 alumni around the world, congratulations to this year's remarkable Honored Alumni. Thank you.
Cal Poly alumni, university leaders, and distinguished community members. Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to join you as we celebrate the 2020 Honored Alumni. My name is Shayna Lynch, and I have the pleasure of serving as the ASI Student Body President for the 2020-21 academic year. Although my fellow Mustangs and the dedicated faculty and staff who support them may not have known what this year would entail, we found comfort in one constant, our Cal Poly community. Because even when the country first went virtual, our community remained resilient. We've adapted Learn by Doing to a virtual setting, and we've continued to develop as leaders and problem solvers in a new era of learning. As Mustangs, we've shown resolve, and we've continued to excel despite the challenges. And we've been motivated by the alumni who have shown us through incredible action just how committed one can be to serving others in times of crisis. From innovating new technologies to providing medical and support services to those in need, to using your voices to work toward a more just and equitable society. Cal Poly alumni have continued to make an impact on the lives of others. I'm delighted to speak to you all today, leaders in industries and communities, and stewards of Cal Poly's Learn by Doing legacy. Your professional achievements serve as inspiration for me and other hardworking students looking toward a successful future. But you also motivate us through your commitment to make a difference in the lives of others and by showcasing the Mustang Way values we hold dear: love, empathy, and respect. After all, these ideals embody what being a member of the Cal Poly community truly means. These characteristics can be shown through a myriad of methods and professions, but it boils down to a drive that's set to the tune of unfaltering compassion. This drive has allowed our community to remain strong, and you epitomize the Mustang Way through your actions, your support, and your belief in the next generation of Mustangs. I look forward to one day inspiring future generations, just as you have, and creating a bright future for all Cal Poly. Thank you for inspiring our community. Congratulations to our 2020 Honored Alumni, and go Mustangs!
Now please welcome the President of Cal Poly, Jeffrey D. Armstrong.
Thank you, Hunt, Shayna, and Amanda, for your tireless service to the Cal Poly community. Hello, everyone, and thank you all for tuning in to this virtual celebration for our 2020 Honored Alumni. First, it is important that we recognize that the land that we at Cal Poly live, learn, and work on carries the heritage and culture of the indigenous people of San Luis Obispo County, the Yaktichu-Tichu, Yaktelhini Northern Chumash tribe. We honor the indigenous people's connection to these territories and respect this land. This is a special event that I look forward to every year. It's an opportunity for us to connect and to honor the university's legacy of learn by doing. For more than 60 years, Cal Poly has been committed to celebrating the achievements and impact of our distinguished alumni at this annual event. And we decided that this time-honored tradition was too important to miss. Even when the uncertainty of 2020 postponed or canceled many parts of our lives. I'm joining you this evening from my home because we know that even apart, Cal Poly is in this together. It was too important to miss because you are too important. To our alumni, friends, supporters, and particularly our honorees, you have all continued to make a difference in your communities and to make us Cal Poly proud. Our honorees are innovators, mentors, business owners, and dedicated community members. And they are deserving of the recognition and appreciation that we will bestow upon them shortly. Many of our honorees and alumni serve in a volunteer or advisory capacity at Cal Poly. We are grateful for their expertise and commitment to our campus and students. I want to thank each alum who has been or is currently a volunteer on the Cal Poly Foundation Board, the President's Council of Advisors, the Cal Poly Alumni Association Board, the Athletic Directors Council, and any of the many Dean's Advisory Councils. Thank you for your dedication to Cal Poly and our students, faculty, and staff. 2020 was certainly a challenging year on many levels, but there were opportunities to celebrate as a community. We proudly sent nearly 6,000 new graduates into the world in the workforce. Alumni jumped in to help their communities any way they could amidst a global pandemic. Our students and faculty adjusted to virtual learning and continued to collaborate and connect. We closed the most successful fundraising campaign in Cal Poly and CSU history, raising more than $832 million to empower students, empower innovation, and empower excellence. And we even cheered on Cal Poly alumnus, previous Honored Alumni Award recipient, and NASA astronaut, Commander Victor J. Glover, as he piloted the SpaceX Crew Dragon and became the first Black man to live aboard the International Space Station. Nothing makes me prouder than seeing the power, connection, and impact of this community. Thank you all for your part in honoring our Learn by Doing legacy. Let's turn our attention to tonight's honorees. I am excited to recognize 8 alumni who have risen above and beyond into the realm of the truly remarkable. I hope that you all will join me in a virtual toast to our honored alumni and to all the alumni who make Cal Poly so very proud. From the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone for all that you do. And go Mustangs!
We'll now begin the 2020 Honored Alumni Awards video presentation. Please enjoy. The 2020 Honored Alumna for the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences is Carey Watts.
We chose Karen because she's kind of the epitome of really an alumnus who gets engaged. She's been a leader in her company. She's been a leader in her industry.
So I work for Nutrien Ag Solutions as a market manager for the West region. Nutrien is the world's largest fertilizer supplier. We have about 2,000 locations throughout the world. My passion for agriculture revolves around the fact that there's a lot of people that go to bed hungry every night in this world, and that with commercial agriculture, we have the opportunity to maybe solve that problem. And the horticulture piece is similar. You don't necessarily eat the products, but they bring joy to people in their daily lives.
She's also, just passionate about green and gold. I mean, there's not a person around that kind of bleeds green and gold as much as her.
The reason I've stayed so connected to Cal Poly is that there's a joy and enthusiasm that surrounds this place that's really funny. I can't explain it totally, but it kind of makes you want to, you want to replicate it, and you want somebody else to have that same experience.
She's impacted our college really by just being that servant leader. If you think about how many times, which is many, where she's come in and lectured in classes. She's not only on the Dean's Advisory Council, but she assists with the Plant Sciences Advisory Council as well. We wanted to do something in the diversity area. And so she worked with our team to develop a program called Aspire to Grow.
The theme of the conference is to expose women, and in our case here at Cal Poly, people of color, to opportunities in agriculture that they may not consider.
It's turned into quite a program. Well over 100 students show up each time we have it. We have it once a year. She wants to, give back to Cal Poly, and she gives back in really so many different ways.
I think that's the piece with Cal Poly, is the investment in the people. And you can take a lot of book learning classes, but you can never replace the investment of the people.
For me, as the Dean of the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences, it makes me feel very, very good that we are able to give her this award and this honor for all that she's done. She's put countless hours in terms of helping the college and helping Cal Poly.
To be acknowledged for the Honored Alumna for the College of Agriculture is pretty overwhelming. It's pretty humbling and overwhelming, because I look at the list of people that have received the award ahead of me, and they're people that I admire. It's a pretty cool thing. It doesn't happen to very many people, and to be picked is pretty overwhelming.
The 2020 Honored Alumna for the College of Architecture and Environmental Design is Donna Clandening.
What Donna brings to our community of honored alumni is a career where she seems to always attract leadership. Starting as a design engineer, moving early in her career to project management, moving into marketing, and then now kind of a futurist. Her contributions now is steering the course of the future for one of the nation's oldest and most prestigious firms.
I love to talk about my career path because I think it is so intrinsically connected to the education that I got at Cal Poly. Right from the beginning, I was classmates with architects, with construction management majors, with landscape architects, and city and regional planning. We all took the same classes for the first 2 years, which was fantastic because it meant that not only was I interfacing with all these different kinds of disciplines, but we were also engaging with each other and learning from each other and learning how to speak the same language.
Donna's been a very active alumni who has worked with students in our architectural engineering program. She's been a member of various councils, including now a member of the Dean's Leadership Council.
I was lucky when I was a freshman. I did live on campus. I lived in the Yosemite dorms, Tower 6. There are some of my friends, even now today, that were those friends that I made my freshman year. My husband was a classmate So I met him freshman year. So I've known him since 1982.
Probably the most meaningful work that Donna is doing today that is going to impact the college in the future is her involvement with the ACE program in Los Angeles. ACE is a nonprofit volunteer program where practitioners in the fields of architecture, engineering and construction work with high school students to introduce them to these professions. Donna's been active in this for years as a mentor. She is now also serving on the Los Angeles board of the organization.
The synergy with Cal Poly for the ACE Mentor program is just amazing, right? Because of the same interdisciplinary kind of approach. For these students, especially within the Los Angeles area, we're going into underrepresented areas and stuff.
Working with schools and with students who might otherwise not have these opportunities. That starts to add voices to Cal Poly and to our profession that we need.
I am incredibly honored. The past 33 years have been completely influenced by my time here. So being honored as an alumni, I think is a culmination of that.
The 2020 Honored Alumnus for the College of Engineering is David J. Rosa.
Today's students really want to change the world, and Dave is one of those alumni that you can look at who actually has changed the world.
So Intuitive started 25 years ago, actually. It was founded on the premise that robotics, electromechanical devices can make a difference in minimally invasive surgery. So I was hired early as one of the first engineers and have now, through a 25-year career, just held all sorts of positions in the company. One of our founders, who was a medical person, really said, here is the problem I'm trying to solve. And what he asked was, can you give me back wristed motion, dexterity inside the body? I want 3D vision and I want intuitive motion. Everything happens at the tips of the instruments, right? That is where surgery happens. So dissection and sewing and cutting and hemostasis and all those sorts of things are right at the tip of the instrument. And so that's where we started.
He has taken his engineering skills and applied them to the design of a system that has so much benefit for society.
And so to date, we've treated over 8 million patients, or physicians have, and our equipment's been involved. We have moved certain surgeries, like surgery for prostate cancer for men that used to be a big open incision is now almost all done minimally invasively with our equipment. Cancer hysterectomies and a whole bunch of others, thoracic surgery. And so that's the highlight, because we are indeed fulfilling our mission.
David's very involved in the College of Engineering. We see him on our campus regularly. He's a member of the College Advancement Advisory Board.
I was the first one in my family to actually attend college. And as I was growing up, I was a hands-on person, always making stuff, taking things apart. In many ways, I was fortunate to be able to come here. I met my wife, Deanna, here, and I'm one now, I think, of 17 people in my family and my wife's family that have attended Cal Poly. And so there's a long legacy in our family, and so it holds a special place.
Everybody wants to work with David. He just has a quality about him that makes you trust him.
It's trying to give back to the best you can to stay connected, be it financially or through the Dean's Advisory Board or other ways. It's a way to help the future a little bit, I think.
He just is the truest example of what a Cal Poly alumni can and should be, and we can hold him up as an example for all of our future alumni.
I'm a behind-the-scenes kind of guy, so anytime I get acknowledged for something, it's not generally comfortable for me. That being said, I am proud of Intuitive and what we've done to create an industry to help 8 million patients receive a better surgery than they would have otherwise, and create jobs for 7,500 people at our company, and then everything beyond that. And so to be recognized for that impact is pretty neat, actually.
The 2020 Honored Alumna for the College of Liberal Arts is Laura Lawton.
So Laura Lawton, she's a fourth generation business owner, of Lawton Printing in Spokane, Washington. I think what was really impressive is her commitment to not only family but community, giving back to community. She's been an incredible leader in the printing industry nationally, and yet she, in some ways, is very understated, very down to earth, very compassionate person.
So I was a transfer student to Cal Poly. I came my junior year, and I came from a small private school, and so Cal Poly was huge, and I didn't know a soul. And the graphic communications department is such a close-knit group. They were good people, inclusive. I worked for UGS the whole time I was there. I loved UGS. For those who don't know what that is, University Graphic Systems, we ran a printing company, students, and that was great fun, and that's where I got my best friendships.
She returned to Lawton Printing after she graduated from Cal Poly to work in the family business, but then eventually would become president and majority owner.
When I came back and working in my family company, you always worry about what the employees are thinking and can you do this, or are you just walking in and having things handed to you. Learning what I learned at Cal Poly and being able to understand what was happening on my press, if there was a problem, what was happening with a folder or a cutter or whatever, because I've operated those pieces of equipment so I could talk intelligently about it, really helped my transition back.
When she was a student, it wasn't just male dominated in terms of faculty, but also students. It was about, overwhelming majority of students were men. Today it's completely the opposite. You look at our graphic communications department, 75% of our students are women. And so it's so important to have role models like Laura for our students, particularly our women students, as they embark on their own careers.
We need more thoughts, ideas, from all different people to come into our industry and just help continue to elevate what we do.
Laura is one of the few women in the industry, in the printing industry, to be inducted into the Printing Hall of Fame. She's had a tremendous impact, particularly on the graphic communication department. She's been a very active member of the advisory board. It's one of our most active advisory boards in the college, and is really sort of a role model for other advisory boards. I'm incredibly excited to be able to honor Laura Lawton with this award. She embodies many of the values that are important to the College of Liberal Arts and to the Graphic Communications Department.
I'm pretty lucky. I've had a great career so far. I've got great mentors who have helped me. I have a great family who, we've all been in this together. So I've been pretty blessed.
The 2020 Honored Alumnus for Cal Poly Athletics is Michael A. Costa.
Well, Michael Costa is just a shining example, I think, of what a former student athlete looks like at Cal Poly. The way he and his wife Cheryl have raised their family, to the great success he's had in business, and then the way he's supported Cal Poly, and in particular Cal Poly baseball, since he has graduated has been remarkable, and it's something, I think it's a great example for every former student athlete to live up to.
Going to school here has affected me in great ways. The whole learn by doing process, I think, prepared me for business in a way that I would have never imagined. I started a company about 27 years ago. We develop affordable housing. It's a business that I didn't anticipate would give me the kind of joy and the feelings that I get every day doing this. It's more than just developing housing. It's actually changing lives.
Michael actually came to Cal Poly. He was recruited to Cal Poly to play baseball, where he was expected to replace Ozzie Smith at shortstop when Ozzie went to the pros. Ozzie opted to not go to Major League Baseball and stayed for another year, so Michael moved to the outfield and promptly led the team in RBIs, home runs, and triples the following year.
My experience here playing baseball, it couldn't have been better. We had great players here, great teammate. My very first year here, we were ranked #1 in the nation, Division II at the time. I was playing with people like Ozzie Smith, right, who's one of the greatest shortstops of all time, and another really close friend of mine, Danny Gans, who became a top entertainer in Las Vegas.
Michael supported us pretty much since he left. between just general Baggett Stadium improvements to our nutrition program to this brand new sparkling building. And I think without somebody like Michael Costa, I know that he's led to a lot of his teammates and other people that look up to him to help support this kind of project. And so I think without him, this building does not exist.
I support the baseball program because we'd like to see them become number one again at the Division I level. And they can do it. They've got some great talent coming into the baseball program here. Larry's a phenomenal head coach. And now we've got this great clubhouse facility.
It's not just about coming to some games here and there. It's about his engagement with our students, his willingness. Even during this COVID environment, he's hopped on a couple of Zooms and tried to mentor some of our upper class student athletes about their careers.
Being honored as, the athlete side by the school for achievements and what we've been able to do beyond college is a tremendous honor.
Mainly because of his humility. He would never expect us to do something like this for him. He doesn't support Cal Poly for honors or accolades or anything like that. He does it because it's the right thing to do, because he loves this university, and he wants to see us continue to be successful.
The 2020 Honored Alumnus for the Orfalea College of Business is Mark Vranesh.
Mark's had a great career. He started off in the finance field, going to work for one of the big accounting firms after he graduated from Cal Poly. And that led him to be a CFO, and he found his passion with some early stage companies.
Looking back at it, it really does come down to the relationships that I've made over the years in some of these companies. In the finance realm, the things that really get you excited, if you will, are the big transactions, the big moments in a company's life.
He sought out because he helps startups navigate one of the trickiest part of launching a company, and that is don't run out of money and make sure you understand how to make it.
Probably the most exciting was the lead up to Zynga's IPO. Zynga was a real rocket ship. I think we got to $1 billion in revenue faster than almost any other technology company at the time.
Mark has been a very strong contributor at Cal Poly in many ways. He's been a founding member of our Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship.
I think like a lot of entrepreneurs, they graduate from Cal Poly with a skill and go on to a great career, and then they find entrepreneurship and that becomes their passion. And the CIE is really the place where they can re-engage with the university, and Mark did. He found us very early.
And so when that opportunity came around to work with the CIE, I jumped on it. I thought it was just phenomenal. I thought it was something that if San Luis Obispo or Cal Poly could start a culture for startups in that area, like who wouldn't want to live there? Who wouldn't want to be part of something in San Luis Obispo? It made a ton of sense.
I think Mark loves Cal Poly because it really personifies who he is. Gritty, hard work will get you where you want to go. Everybody's in it for each other as much as for themselves.
Great experiences at Cal Poly. Even if I look back and think about the coursework, consolidations in Tad Miller's class. Tad made learning fun. That was a great course that I'll always remember. The nightlife in San Luis Obispo was very memorable. Probably my strongest connection is somebody I'm still with. That's my wife, Christine. We've been together now for about 28 years.
He was a football player when he was at Cal Poly.
The joy really came from, being on the field with your teammates and being on the sidelines, and mostly in my case, I did play a little bit of special teams and things like that.
We're so delighted to honor Mark with this award for his many contributions. For the last 10 years, he's been a strong supporter in the College of Business, and before that, as an ambassador to our alumni and graduates going to Silicon Valley.
It really is amazing recognition. I'm just so thrilled about it. I'm looking forward to spending the next 10 years with Cal Poly as well.
I like the fact that he is who we've chosen to showcase what success looks like at Cal Poly and the epitome of what we hope our students will become.
The 2020 Cal Poly Alumni Association Distinguished Service Award recipient is Steve McShane.
So I've always gardened, as long as I can remember, keeping a vegetable garden, even if it was something small. I'll never forget my parents went away on a vacation, and I decided that was the time to turn the backyard into an orchard. I've always loved landscaping, outdoors gardening, and opening my own garden center was a dream. So I was a soils major. It's one of those majors that is the living proof that learn by doing not only exists, but it's a way of life. As a freshman, I signed up for one of the Ag Enterprise projects. Under this formula, students have no risk and gain all the reward of experiential education. And the Citrus and Avocado project was an enterprise project I started as a freshman. Having that learn by doing experience within the first few weeks, it really had a big impact on my college career, but ultimately on my life.
Steve's public service career started at Cal Poly. He served as the ASI board president, which was a natural transition to serve for the city of Salinas as a councilman.
I found even as a council member today and a business owner, the most valuable thing we have are engaged customers or constituents. The more engaged people are, the stronger we can be.
As a student, Steve was tremendous at finding traditions that had moved on, learning about them, and then reinstituting them back to the university.
What I would call the spirit revolution. 91, when we voted to go D1, and we paired that vote with a group of students that started what is now known as the Mustang Maniacs. So people that went to games and supported athletics and engaged alumni in a really unique way. I'm really proud of President ARMSTRONG and leadership as it sits to really see to it that our alumni are engaged. Our alumni are very much a part of the future of the university.
The Alumni Association is a great way to connect our alumni to students, to faculty, and Steve has been an impeccable example of how we can all give back and be part of the community.
So when I moved to Salinas, I didn't know anybody. And my very first connection was thanks to the Cal Poly Alumni Association. And I really saw it as my responsibility as part of giving back to the university to be a part of the chapter.
Steve is a role model for Cal Poly alumni in that he has served both at the CSU council level as well as his local chapter in Monterey. His dedication year over year has been an inspiration to all of us and is a model of how we can all give back to Cal Poly.
The cool thing about Cal Poly is you knock and there's a response. There really is, and the Alumni Association is that door for so many people.
The 2020 Sandra Gardebring Ogren Award recipient is Mary Crebassa.
So Mary has done an amazing job in her field, an amazing alumna of the College of Liberal Arts. She's currently Vice President for LTN Global, a worldwide leader in media arts.
I remember a lot about my time at Cal Poly. Because it was such a golden time. Learn by doing has been sort of the number one key skill that has taken me throughout my career.
Well, since I arrived almost 10 years ago, Mary has been a constant and thoughtful leader, always attending, always participating, always pushing for student success.
I had a minor in drama, so I was in the theater all the time at Cal Poly. You audition all the time, and so you're constantly you have to embrace change. You have to embrace rejection. And in sales, it's really sort of the same thing, that you just get constant rejection. Customers or potential customers are always saying no. I just learned to be very tenacious. I learned that at Cal Poly, and I've taken it all the way through my career, and it seems to have worked out great for me.
We're very excited to recognize Mary Crebassa for the Sandra Ogren Leadership Award this year. She's been an amazing force and contributor to Cal Poly. She's contributed to the College of Liberal Arts, served on the Cal Poly Foundation Board, and currently serves on the President's Council of Advisors.
I started to think about it, and I was like, I really should be giving back to Cal Poly. I had such a great experience there, and really without Cal Poly on my resume, I wouldn't have gotten where I got. My frame of mind is I need to make sure that the people at Cal Poly today that are going to school, the students, are having as good of experience, if not better than mine. I want to pay it forward.
It really is special for Mary to receive the Sandra Ogren Leadership Award. She knew Sandra Ogren, and Sandra helped get her involved. So I know that aspect of it, while bittersweet, is very special.
She sort of became like a mentor of mine. I didn't get to see her all the time because I didn't work at Cal Poly. But whenever I came for the board meeting, she and I would get in very good conversations. When I got the call that I had received this recognition, I literally cried because I was thinking about Sandy. But I'm just really humbled and grateful for this recognition. And it's shocking, actually, because I actually don't think I really deserve it. But I loved Sandy so much, and I'm really happy and proud that I get to have recognition with her name on it. So, really humble and grateful.
Congratulations to Cal Poly's 2020 Honored Alumni. Now with some parting words is President Armstrong.
On behalf of the Cal Poly Alumni Association and all of us at Cal Poly, we would like to sincerely thank you for attending the Honored Alumni Awards celebration. We are inspired by the compassion, perseverance, and commitment to honoring the Learn by Doing legacy of all of our 2020 honorees. We look forward to the day when we can once again celebrate in person alongside our esteemed alumni community. But until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay Cal Poly proud. Thank you.